like Clark, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be continuing the noob to pro, and basically in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 to 8, I think, I don't know the exact number, building tips that you can be practicing in creative all the time. Some of them are going to be advanced, some of them are just going to be pretty basic, but I guarantee you, even if you're a pro, even if you're really good at the game, you should still be grinding these in creative all the time just to make sure you never mess up with them. You always have them down and you're always improving them, because these are very basic builds that you're going to be using all the time in games, all the time in fights, so it's very, very important to know. And if you're looking forward to a future video of mine and you're looking forward to even learning some tips from this video, make sure you slap a like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully, like I said, you guys enjoy this video. And make sure you guys use creator code WraithFN in the item shop, and let's get right into it. So for the first drill, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows to do this, it's very, very obvious, but it's basically just practice your 90s and get them down as much as you possibly can. And again, it doesn't matter if it's your 9, like you can practice any 90s, it doesn't have to be mine. You can switch them up, whatever feels comfortable for you. Just switch them up all the time. And as you can see, I mess up a couple times when I'm warming up my 90s, and I don't really care, because you're probably going to mess up in game. Even if you're a pro, they still mess up a couple times in game. So it's just good to be able to quickly adapt and fix in the scenario. So for example, if you put a floor over yourself, just being able to quickly edit through. If you Harry Potter yourself, again, quickly being able to edit out the side is very important. So even if you mess up building your 90s, it's not a big deal. Just practice being fluent with it, so once you mess up, you can quickly clap back and get back into the 90s. But yeah, obviously in game you're probably not going to be doing 90s as much as this, or even that many 90s, but just again, trying to get that down so you're almost always being able to do the 90s and not messing up is the goal here. So what I normally like to do is just do 90s all the way up to the sky limit around once or twice, depending how confident I'm feeling and how I like them. And like I said, I Harry Potter myself there. It doesn't matter, just practice editing through. And yeah, build up once or twice, just make sure they're feeling good. And honestly, every single time you hop in 4, I recommend doing this just to make sure they're nice and clean. Now this next tip is obviously another kind of basic one. It's just editing your ramp or editing your floor, and then once you get good, editing your cone floor, and then even once you get better, doing the mongrel edit, or what I like to call the mongrel edit. So like I said, you can just build whatever you want, 1 stair, 2 stair, and just practice editing. I recommend doing 2 stairs in between the double edit, just because it kind of gets a little bit scuffed. Like as you can see right now, it just kind of starts scuffing a little bit, for me at least. I don't know why. I feel like I'm placing them in the proper spots, but for some reason they just don't place as cleanly. So like I said, I recommend doing 2, and once you start feeling confident with just a simple cone and floor like you see me doing here, just practice all different directions, from the right side, left side, the bottom, the top. Just practice editing the cone and floor again, so you just don't mess up as ever, because the whole goal is just to get more consistent at it. And again, I just recommend doing this probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just making sure they're all clean. And then once you start getting a little bit more comfortable with the cone floor and you can do it pretty consistent, you can start building walls behind it or walls to the front. I kind of like switching in between the two, like switching with a wall in front and the wall behind, because sometimes when you're building, you will throw a wall by accident in front of yourself and you just need to quickly edit, so it's just good for that. Also, this is a really good practice just to warm up all type of builds, your cone, your floor, your walls, your ramp, basically every single build, right? So it's just really good to get rid of that kind of cold fingers or that feeling you get when you first hop on Fortnite and your builds aren't as good. This is a really good way to warm up, and just again, really good way to practice improving your builds. And like I said there, you can practice having the floor or the wall in front, wall behind, whatever kind of you want to do. I call this the mongrel edit just because he does it in his mongrel warm-up video, but again, up to you guys what you want to do. Now this next one is a very common build fight, and it's called the Thwifo cone, where basically all you do is kind of a 180 turn and throw 2 walls and a cone up at top. So basically if someone is following you, they're either going to get blocked by the walls or blocked by the pyramid. And again, I do this before every single time I warm up. It's just a really good way to get your builds down, feel comfortable. As well, it's honestly a really good, useful tip to use in like build fights or even if someone's pushing you. I do this all the time if I'm trying to push for height endgame or push for height against a player or even in 1v1s, whatever the case is. You'll see pros use it all the time. Again, it's called the Thwifo Cone, and you just gotta practice it until you can get that infinite feeling where you can just do it as much as possible without getting jump fatigue, because if you don't do it a lot, you will get jump fatigue. So this next drill is basically called the Bizzle 180, or this is what I call it. And it's some people, for example, a lot of people I know honestly do their 180s really weird, where it takes a lot of time, and again, every split second matters. They'll do like kind of almost a 90 and then just like switch over like this, or whatever you guys do. I don't know obviously what you do, but they do some weird stuff. But basically what I personally think is the right way, and a lot of pros do it, is just a clean 180, as I show for example right there. Is instead of building all the walls, all you do is just quickly turn around and build straight up, placing the ramp above first and then the lower ramp. It's very, very good, but you got to be, again, aware that you don't jump too early and turn too early, or that will happen where basically you'll get scuffed and you'll almost get Harry Potter, just like in the 90s. It's all about timing, all about practice, making sure you always get that timing again. But again, it doesn't really matter if you miss it or you get Harry Pottered, because basically, again, just practice it, where if you end up messing up, you can just easily get out of it, because if you mess up in game, you want to make sure you don't just freeze, you actually know what you're doing. And this is a very, very good move to practice, and I definitely recommend using the 180 in game all the time. So now this next drill is really, really good. It basically practices endgame scenarios, and it's just tunneling. And again, this is just a really good way to get all of your builds down, and you're going to end up tunneling a lot endgame. So you can do just simple right tunnels like that, and I definitely recommend doing the jump, because it basically just allows for you to place that wall quicker, which basically will mean they have less time to shoot at you. And then just your basic left tunnels, again, very, very basic. Again, just start practicing these. You want to get it down so you never mess it up. Again, all these drills aren't too difficult. It's just you want to get it down so consistent as to where you never mess up, because if you mess up, that could mean you die basically, right? And then you just want to practice the 90, like whatever you want to call the left right tunnels, whatever you want to call the 90 tunnels. I personally call it the 90 tunnels, but it's up to you. And again, just keep doing these until you feel comfortable, and even when you feel comfortable, just keep grinding them out, because it's that point where even if you miss one of these walls or whatever the case is, you could die endgame, right? And lose placement, lose kills, etc., etc. If you're feeling really confident, you can do the mongrel tunnels, which I like to call them again, and it's basically just building walls and editing through them. Again, all up to you, whatever you feel like doing. Then a new kind of one I've added to my routine of practice is actually dashing, and a lot of you guys might be like, how is dashing useful? Like, this isn't useful at all. But honestly, like, I've used it so many times to get out of storm when I'm low, just save myself when I'm low end game and I need to get in the zone because I'm at 4 HP. Really, really useful. Now the last tip, or well, the second last tip I'm going to give for drills is basically just boxing up quickly as possible, editing out in weird scenarios and practicing switching boxes and basically running away if you're getting pressure and you need to heal or whatever. It's really good just to kind of get in that mentality where you know you can edit and get out of any box you're in if it's yours, and you can kind of basically escape people and run away. It's just kind of good mentality to have. And then the very last drill I'm going to recommend is basically putting it all together, where you use every single build you have kind of. I normally add a couple of high ground retakes, but I didn't talk about any in this video, so I'm not going to do it in my free builds. But yeah, basically just free builds, do everything, do dashes, do the 180s, do 90s, do the Thwifo Cone. You can even tunnel a little bit, kind of whatever you want. Just practice and get down, because again, the more consistent you do it, the better it will be. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button, comment what you want to see for a future video, or even what you want to see for this series. I'm thinking the next one I'm going to do is probably how to improve editing, or maybe even aiming. So again, if you're looking forward to that, just let me know in the comments. If you like the series, let me know, and I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.